What was the last straw in a relationship you no longer are in? I broke up with my girlfriend of 5 years because she made the Subway guy cry. She had asked for light mayo and he put too much, so he scraped off the extra. She scolded him until he was holding back tears, and that's when I realized that she wasn't just ambitious, she was an asshole. He told our daughter he never liked her and couldn't stand to be around her. She hit me with a car. On purpose. He had a public screaming meltdown at a screening of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 because a family was accidentally sitting in our assigned seats. When her phone vibrated on the chair next to me and it was a text from her ex, "I miss you too." Too implied she said it first. Yeah, no, bye. Said she was going home several states away to visit family for 2 weeks. Saw her doing lines off the back of a toilet 3 days into said trip at a party in the town we lived in. I sliced my index finger open to the bone at work, needed a ride to the hospital, and she complained the whole time about just wanting to get home and have a drink. Couldn't care less about me being in pain and upset that I wouldn't be able to play guitar for months. I am a professional musician who gigs often. I was like, nope, what if something debilitating happened to me? She would just bounce. When Miso was not only cheating on me and having unsafe sex with these women, but was telling me that he had to stand up for me with our shared friend group. I made sure they knew about his cheating, then left. He lost most of the friend group, Fuyu. After 3 years together I asked what we were doing and he said I don't know. So I said let's start from first principles then, do you love me? And he said I don't know. She would establish boundaries, I would accept them. Did this like 3 times when I finally realized all she was doing was moving her fence line to the point she wasn't respecting my own boundaries. Her 5th suicide attempt and refusal to get help with her drug addiction. Anytime I tried to communicate times I felt disrespected or angry with her, she would do the same 3 things. 1. Not listen or not understand. 2. Turn it around and make it about her being a victim somehow. 3. Just throw out random shit until she could find something that I did wrong, and then act like that made her win the discussion. Fucking childish bullshit. Just listen, admit you did something wrong and apologize. Fuck. He beat me so badly I lost our baby. It was already leading up to it, but how he treated my cat. Initially he'd play with her, but she didn't like it and she made it known after a few warnings, which would in turn tick him off and he'd try to punish her. One day I came home from work and he was in my house with a friend he'd invited but hadn't told me about. They started talking about how feral cats should be put down, and if it had been then, they'd have put her down. She's not feral. She spent like 2 weeks of her life was spent outside, she just has boundaries. But yeah, after hearing that conversation was I just done. I beat her at a game of Halo, she choked me against a door pissed off about it. I was done. Punched a hole in the wall when I asked him to wash his hands before. You know. Touching me there. And I added, please respect my body. I ruined everything, he destroyed my furniture as payback for breaking up with him over it. Then spent a solid year trying to win me back, and then became outraged that I broke up with him over a chair. We'd dated 3 years. No to anyone dating someone that gets increasingly violent when they get comfortable enough to break things in front of you, you're next. When I got to the point that I thought dying was the only way I could be free of him, he put his hands on me. He never saw me again. He said he was going to take the weekend to think about us and he took my paycheck to OKC and spent it on strippers. We had been circling the drain for a while, stuck in a constant loop of toxicity and trying to make it work. She pulled a disappearing act one night and went out and got plastered and didn't come home until the next day. I realized in that moment I resented her. Disappearing acts are something I have no tolerance for in a committed relationship. I get real anxious if my person says they will be home at a certain time, and then they not only don't come home, but refuse to answer calls, texts. This was the 2nd time she had pulled one of these on me, and that was it. When she got mad and told me to get over my best friend's death 3 days after he died. He was Kia in Afghanistan. She told me that I needed to start paying her attention and that he's dead and there's nothing I can do. Broke up with her right there and then. I've realized it was over when I found out my partner had been lying to me about their whereabouts and spending time with someone else. Just gut pain. She moved out and tried to take 2 of our 4 kids with her. She was moving in with a guy from her work, and her brilliant idea was that she'd take the 2 younger kids and I'd take the 2 older ones. Her sister helped me talk her into returning the kids, and I won custody of all 4 in the divorce. Would yell at me if I didn't praise him enough. My boyfriend speaking down to his children, and not for the first time. And I don't mean in a disciplinary way either. One of the most unattractive qualities in my opinion. A girl's name came up on some instant messaging app and I asked who that was and he absolutely lost it on me for asking. Funny how that's always such a telltale sign of cheating. Anyways, I'm really glad that happened because he was so verbally abusive that I felt just nothing of myself and it took cheating for me to leave. Turns out he was gay. He's my best friend now, but damn, there's no working around that. Found out she cheated a year before, and she was angry I wouldn't immediately get over old news, so she stole the money that I set aside for going on vacation for my birthday. She was in school, so I paid for most everything and went on vacation with the guy she cheated on me with. She tried to come back 3 years later asking me if I was over it yet. My sister died suddenly and I was majorly depressed. I ended up getting blood clots from the plane ride, and he told me that I probably wouldn't have gotten the blood clots if I hadn't sat around and been so sad over my sister. I said fuck you, I want a divorce. He drove our only car, the one I sole breadwinner drove back and forth to work every day, drunk. He drove it through my mom's neighbor's fence, then tried to lie and say it wasn't him. When my brand new bumper was all scratched, she had the video on her Ring camera. That, and I went feral when he walked into my mom's house and called her mom. I realized that if I got that angry over that, we were not meant to get married. Broke up with him the next day, best decision I've made in a long time. My ex slapped me after confronting she fucked her trainer. She did. She got drunk and made an oopsie and fucked some guy. He spit on me. I think that fundamentally changed me as a person. It made me question how I could allow myself to be with someone who would disrespect me like that. I had been giving him chance after chance and choosing to see the best in him for months. But that was over the line. I am on a path of self-discovery and reflection. She accused me of cheating with some blonde girl after she found blonde hair in my bed. Plot twist, I wasn't. Plot twist, she was blonde since 4 or 5 days. She left for the 3rd time with the words "fuck you, we're done" after a self-inflicted fight. As expected, she came back after a few hours and I told her she could pack her stuff and leave again.